Good morning, Johnston. We are here with our featured teacher, Jackie Sapp, the one and only. And Jackie, can you tell us how long you've been at Johnston and what your background was before becoming a dragon?
Got an hour?
No, we don't.
I've been here 18 years, it's my 18th year, and before Johnston, I was at our Western College for 2 years as a head basketball coach teacher. Before that, I was at Western Illinois, taught, coached. I was at, Winona State, so I got so many. Winona State, then Western Illinois, I got my master's degree there. And before that, I was at 3 different high schools and spent 12 years at the high school level teaching primarily PE and started some health programs.
Great.
And coaching.
Wow. Okay, so you have a ton of experience. So if you had to explain education in one word, what would that word be?
Confusing.
Good one.
Can you elaborate?
One reason I say that is I didn't teach it all in the 90s, and so when I came back, there were tons of changes, so it was really confusing for me, and implementation of laws and mandates and all those things, just even in my, just in my area, the mandates that they, for instance, like CPR, which can be a headache trying to make sure everybody has to graduate. Mm-hmm. So that's why I say confusing.
Okay.
Not bad, just,
What would you say has been your proudest or most feeling of most accomplishment in education? I know it's a heavy question.
This is a big show.
Huge audience.
Showing up day to day.
It is a long drive from Kelly, Iowa.
That's a good one. I think the fact that I'm still in it and I still enjoy kids.
Yeah.
I'm really proud of that. All the other things that teachers, we all, feel the same way about what we have to do away from the classroom. No, I'm not real proud of that, but I'm really proud of the relationships and what I do every day in the classroom.
Awesome. That's good. Can you think of like a person, it could be a person from your life, a person from history that you admire most, and why?
Abraham Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was an interesting character. I think that he was pivotal in history at the time that he was president. And now knowing about him, the person, and the struggles he had with mental health and just the things that I do, that he's a great person to use in the classroom to say, hey, here's somebody that's accomplished a lot.
That's awesome.
That's why I admire him.
Yeah. So speaking of health, and it's a topic or a subject area that maybe not everyone wants to teach, what would you say is your favorite subject to teach in 10th grade health?
Well, I actually have 2, sex ed and mental health. And sex ed because it's really ever changing. People think that it's the same, but it's really not, just because, and I know the viewers are probably going, what's she talking about? If you just take STDs,
yeah,
and the number of STDs and what, STDs that can be permanent, that most of us teachers didn't have to deal with. Well, at least me at 61, but, and mental health, just because I think it's a hot topic and it's huge in our society now. But definitely sex ed, I've had some interesting moments.
So by the time my children are ready for me to have to give them that talk, I know you'll be retired by then, but will you be willing to come to my house and do it for me?
I don't know if I can handle more. She might have too many questions that I just probably couldn't answer.
I'll have Destiny do it then.
I'd like to see that one.
That's awesome. All right. What would be your best vacation ever, or your favorite vacation spot?
I want to go to Alaska. That's on my bucket list.
Oh, yeah? What would you do there?
I would go somewhere out in the wilderness, pitch a tent, bear-proof, fish. I just am intrigued with the state of Alaska.
Very cool.
That's something I hopefully will get to do when I retire.
Speaking of retirement, you've said you have a few years,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I think your plans are intriguing to me. You want to share what you're planning to do?
I want to go live off the grid. I've looked at Wyoming, Idaho, and now Colorado. And the reason I like to live off the grid is because I think that it brings you back to nature. It brings you back to, what our forefathers and what people, how they had to live. So, I would have solar power. You know, the water, that might be a little tricky. I might have to drill a well, but I like, you know, grow my own plants, like to have chickens, goats, a cow.
I could see this. I could see this happening for you.
You know, I think it's a way to defuse, unwind, all those things from all the years of being in education, and, you know, kind of make you appreciate things again.
Absolutely. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't do it, but
I'm
that's
not saying
awesome.
I can, but you know, I'd give it a try.
So I think the lesson here is that we all need to get our fill up Jackie now before
Yeah.
she leaves and goes off the grid, because we won't be able to find you.
I think that's my plan.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, we appreciate your willingness to entertain this and entertain the school for a few minutes. So, any last parting words you want to give to Johnston before we sign off today?
Just be ready for a new and a good year in our new building.
There you go. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right. Happy Friday, Johnston.
Bye.